Hello and welcome to the Horror House Podcast. I'm Dave.
And I am Chris. We're two dudes that like to have a few drinks and talk about horror from movies to real life. And this week in the Horror House, we've got the fucking balloons and streamers up because it's birthday time. Happy birthday, Dave.
Well, thank you, my good friend. You set the challenge out to me on X today, and so I've been putting it down.
I've done my best. I feel like Dave has actually peer pressured me into drinking more, but I'm there for it. And Dave, for your birthday movie, we are doing a Cronenberg movie.
Yes,
that's my gimmick. That's my gimmick.
But it's Brandon Cronenberg. Brandon.
Oh,
Brandon.
Brandon.
But yeah, but I mean, limited filmography right now, I feel like. But
we're catching the beginning, the formation of a director or a writer. Is he as good as his dad? Is he different than his dad? I think that's a conversation we will get into because it's in my notes.
Yep. It's in my notes, Chris.
High five,
wavelength. We got the wavelength going tonight.
Also, Rabble, we are on the YouTube now. We are beginning. We're starting with this current season 5 of the Horror House forward. So if you prefer to get your podcast that way, or you have a friend that does, we got you covered. Like, subscribe, notification bell. You know the things. You know the things that the YouTubers do. So do those things. And let's have a good time over on the YouTube. Leave some comments. I'll comment back. Dave will comment back. And we'll have a good time. Good old grand old time. I would say a gay old time, but I forget what that's from. What theme song is it?
Flintstones.
There we go.
Flintstones. Meet the Flintstones.
I wanted to say Three's Company. What a contrasting pair that is. Flintstones and Three's Company.
I mean, kind of. You kill Betty off, and Fred and Bernie are tag teaming Wilma all day.
Oh, kill Barney off. And then Fred's got Betty, who I think is underrated.
Oh, yeah.
She's the unsung heroine.
So I'll be damned. I am surprised that you would go that way with your love of the redheads.
It's you got to step outside the box sometimes, and for the Flintstones,
okay. Is who's your dark-haired girls that they all look the same?
Katy Perry.
I'm sorry, I've already had a few. What's that? What's the name?
Katy Perry. They are all Katy Perry.
So is Betty the original Katy Perry?
They're all Bettys.
Yeah.
That used to be the.
That used to be a thing.
Yeah. Is that where that came from? Wow.
It is now. It is now.
We're learning all kinds of things, Rabble. Also, Dave, before we
goddamn, hold on, I'm dying. Okay, I'm good.
We're starting off strong. One last thing. This is the final show of season 5. We're gonna take a few, do a little renovating in the old Horror House before we come back with an all new season 6. So if you got the requests and you for movies or topics, get them in, or live with deep regret for the rest of your life. Forever. So
I should have told them what I thought. I should have told them to do the Funhouse. And now
I've never watched that and see it pop up so much. And so I've still yet to watch it. It has almost a mystique to it because I've avoided it so much. We may need to do that eventually. Like I'm still like,
if we get one single member of the rabble tell us, then on YouTube, on Spotify, on anything, on Slasher, one single person says, hey, you guys should do on the street. You should do the Funhouse. Then it's done deal. It's set in stone.
The Baskin guy shows up and says, "You need to do the Funhouse." You listen to Baskin guy.
Baskin guy has not steered us wrong yet. So
I'm horribly afraid of him, Dave. And I love that. I actually was listening to Horror House. It's I lie. It's not my favorite podcast, but it's one of my favorite podcasts. And you randomly brought up him in something. I forget what episode it was. And you're like, my nurse practitioner, or is that what he is? I forget the exact.
Yes.
And you're like, Baskin guy. I'm like, Baskin guy. It was a great little. We've got so much lore. We're at the end of 5. We're getting ready to start season 6. You got to go back through this lore, man. And if you want to do that, you're gonna have to explore the internet and get on that Spotify or Apple Podcasts.
Yeah, look us up. Hit those episodes. How many? I'll have a prize. The prize is my undying admiration for the fan who can tell me exactly how many episodes we mentioned Baskin guy. But in side news, we're kind of meta here because Baskin guy is aware of his reputation and name as Baskin guy.
Really?
Yes. And when I told him, I was like, we refer to you as Baskin guy. You know what he told me?
You're fired.
You know what? I was watching it the other day. So he and he had new fan theories. So,
oh my God. Oh my God. I love him and I am just eternally afraid of him, which is a unique feeling. Like, I don't think he'd hurt me, but I think he would like almost hurt me in a way that would make me feel practitionered, but also like Baskined.
I don't think if you met him, you would feel any fear at all. He is a super.
He doesn't have the 40-inch pythons, brother, because we do. Yes. We do. We don't, but we could. Probably not. 40-inch pythons? What am I saying?
I have the 40-inch pythons, dude. That's my waist.
That's my shoe size.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it's the Funhouse in real life. That's why I've been avoiding it.
It's a condition.
But get your requests in, get your topics in. If you want something that even if we've talked about it before, we'll see if there's something new we can dig up. How about that? But I think it is time that we get into this maybe decisive movie, Infinity Pool. Brought to you by Watson's. Is that a regional
Jack thing? Watson's? I feel like it probably is a regional thing.
Damn. Insert
And
local...
she wasn't just a pool girl. Like, she played... Oh, she is just a pool girl. She played pool, and she lounged by the pool. Those are the two things I know for a fact Watson's sold.
That is more decisive than practitioner and Baskin, I feel like. Pool... Well, no, they're the same thing, but they're so different in functionality. Are you going to have your pool table near your pool? I don't think so. I don't think ever.
A lot of the Universal resorts have pool tables outdoors by the pool area. So you can kind of play pool by the pool.
Okay. Fair enough.
And if you got a hole in your pocket, you can put your hand in your pocket and you can play pool while standing by the pool.
Dude, that's
in the
like
pool area.
That's like I went to the fucking corners of 4 states and stood in 4 states at once kind of thing.
Right. Yeah, this is way better. Let's jump in with something we teased in the intro. And I'm going to steal this term from Chris.
You're welcome.
The wordsmith, the unsung William Shakespeare of our time. let's look at the hierarchy. Let's look at the hierarchy and let's examine this father-son filmmakers in a Cronenberg off.
Right.
So Brandon versus David.
This would put him, what is this, his third feature? I want to say
third feature film.
So this would be about his Fast company.
Fast Times? Yeah.
Which I don't think that it thematically works, but I don't know. We'll analyze it. We'll see where we go. But
there are exactly 3 people would have guessed that as his third movie.
Infinitely impressed.
It's me, you, and David Cronenberg.
David Cronenberg's like, I'm really impressed that you would guess Fast Company because that was a very important film to me. Anyways, so when it comes to
my magnum opus, really.
When it comes to father and son and a kind of these celebrity kind of positions, right? I often think about Van Halen and his son Wolfgang, right? Who played bass for their last few tours, but like has went out on his own and is doing kind of his own thing. He's a great singer. He's a great musician, really. But he's not. He doesn't sound like a Van Halen, and people are always like, "Play Panama," and he has a real problem with that. He's like, "I'm not playing fucking Panama for you." Which makes,
he wants to be his own man.
Exactly. And I am led to think of that kind of stuff with this. Like, does Brandon Cronenberg try to carry forward in his father's footsteps or carve his own path? You know, how does being a popular artist affect the child that goes down that same, not the same path, but that same, you know, direction?
Sure.
And I think there are similarities with them. But what are you thinking? What are you thinking when it comes to this idea?
I agree. I think you can feel the influence, right? And you know, it's very natural to be influenced by our parents.
DNA, baby.
Whether that's whether that's good, bad, or indifferent, you know, it's very natural. Like these are the people that shape us for the first 18 years of our life, or longer. And granted, you know, I'm not talking about everybody, but you know, we're very much a product of our environment, and that early environment means so much. So I think it's as much about values and view of the world,
right,
more than it is about style. I don't think Brandon is coming out here trying to really push the body horror element, because he could do that much better than Infinity Pool.
But there are elements of it, right?
There are elements of that, but I think it's the values. I think it's the way they see the world more than it is an attempt to just copy a style. So I think it would be impossible for him to. I don't think we'd be talking about a Brandon Cronenberg movie right now if he really set out and said, you know what, I'm not going to do anything like my dad, and he became like the Wes Anderson of this generation.
Right. I'm making Bluey, fucking, or what's a kid's show? Is that Bluey?
Yeah.
But it still feels like it's, I don't know that I would say influenced by it, but maybe it does come down to like a DNA thing, right? Like it's in there and he was around it, right? Mm-hmm. Like his dad making these kind of crazy movies. So, incidentally, since we're speaking of Brandon, I feel like if you took one part David Cronenberg and another part Jeff, you'd end up with almost a Brandon Cronenberg. I was watching some interviews today. I'm like, this guy is literally like, if I could mix people
Okay.
He's I feel like
Jeff, you got some explaining to do. Did you have a baby with David Cronenberg?
This is egregious. word of the day.
That's the secret word of the day. So I did not think about that, but I just pulled him up, Brandon, on IMDb, and yes.
Am I wrong?
Even the facial expression, he's got the Jeff facial expression.
I didn't.
When Angie's too much, and Jeff just has that smirk, like, I love her, but what am I going to do with her? So
we're gonna have to do a Brandon Cronenberg movie with Jeff now. That's his punishment for being in this thought, I guess. Go listen to The Menu with us and Jeff just a few weeks ago. Great show. I forgot to talk about. I had some thoughts about the ending of that, and we didn't get to them because I was drunk, like I am now. So hooray!
We are definitely going to have some retrospective episodes on the Patreon that doesn't exist yet.
We will. We can also. But are you ready to get into the movie itself?
I do want to say why we're just here talking about Brandon Cronenberg.
He does seem like a nice guy. I ain't hating on him. He just looks a little bit like Jeff.
Oh no, and I kind of like. I feel for his kind of worldview based on Possessor, based on Infinity Pool, because there are some similarities here. A couple weeks ago, you mentioned Antiviral, which I had not seen, but I have now.
Oh, okay. I've only seen like the first 10
definitely. It definitely feels underfunded compared to Possessor and Infinity Pool, and I don't know that it. Clearly, that it's a lesser of a budget, but I think it's also very intentional because everything feels very sterile. It's got this.
It does, yeah.
He does this creep factor. Brandon Cronenberg speaks in the language of like uncomfortableness. But thematically, Antiviral with the crazy obsession with celebrity. Possessor seems more like it's a critique on the sacrifices we make to our personal lives for work. And then Infinity Pool, the seduction of
right.
wealth and what it would mean to live life without consequence, and what kind of monster that would make you into. So, thematically, his movies all kind of converge, similar to his dad. Had these, even though disparate themes, they play very well together. There's kind of a Cronenberg when you see it, and I don't think Brandon's movies are any different. And I feel like if you didn't know any different, a Brandon Cronenberg movie, you would lump it in with a David Cronenberg movie if you didn't know any better.
I can see aspects of that. I agree.
All right. One down, folks. We got our first agreement of the night, and I don't think that'll be the last.
One's all you get. One's all you get.
Oh, no, I don't think that'll be the last, but I don't know how many we will get.
Well, let's get into the movie. So I gotta say, not quite from Well, let's start from Jump Street.
Sure.
So I've not watched this in probably it's probably not been a year, but ish in the neighborhood. And watching it, I forgot that there was like that whole sequence at the beginning that has no picture, and it's just James and M talking in bed. And I'm like, is my internet fucking up?
Yeah, you just get the audio. If you're watching on subtitles, you get that.
Yeah, I'm like, God damn it. Like, I'm going to let this play out, and then I feel like it's going to, like, glitch back into existence. If you're seeing it in the theater, like, which you did see this in the theater, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Did you feel that, like, when it's just blankness, or is that just kind of a at-home internet streaming kind of thing? Because I surely was like, is this fucked up? Is this just me?
No, I didn't feel like it was fucked up. It set a weird tone, I kind of feel like. Which again, Cronenberg and Brandon, and his ability to make you uncomfortable though through things that maybe other filmmakers wouldn't. Because here we are, right. we find out shortly that we're in a hotel room, an intimate setting. I just bopped the mic, so probably won't be last time. But we're in what should be an intimate setting, and it's dark. We can't see anything, but we're hearing this intimate conversation. And I meant to, and I failed you, Chris. I meant to go back and watch and like really pay attention to how this starts, because it starts with
Cleopatra
James
ass.
Well, that's the first visual you get, and it's quite the visual.
It should count.
Yes. Oh no, it's quite the visual. Stunning, beautiful.
Great work.
But it's the worst. Like, James starts like muttering something half asleep, and I don't even remember what it.
Fucking worse. He reminds me of my cousins when we would play music, and like the next day after we would, go sleep, get up, try to get up the next day to play music again, and like just dead weight and dead brain, really. And that's not a slight, that's just how it is. And every time James Skarsgård would get up out of bed, it was like the fucking weight of the world is on him. He's like, like the police are knocking at his door, right? He's like, hold on. I mean, I understand it to a degree, but goddamn, every time I'm not quite there for that. I'm not a snoozer, Dave. I hate snoozing.
I will admit, I used to be a snooze alarm guy. When we first got married,
to my sister, not
you and I, not you and I. When Stella and I first got married, I was a snooze alarm guy. I was the guy that I would hit the snooze over.
What?
Over.
Really? So she, did she influence you to not?
I would say very much so. Mostly, not directly. It was mostly an indirect influence, in that I was a bachelor for a long time. Routine was not my thing. Like, I never knew what I was doing. I get off work. Maybe I'm going to go home, watch a movie, go to bed. Maybe someone's going to be like, hey, let's go for a drink. Maybe someone's going to say, hey, let's go for a country cruise. Maybe a little bit of everything. Maybe I would go walk around downtown for 2 hours, go to a bar. I'm not the guy that's afraid to go to a movie on my own. I frequently did that if I needed to. That was kind of an escape for me when I was my social batteries were depleted. Even people like myself, who are very social, and I love people. I love interacting with people and just talking to people and getting to know everybody's individual stories and sharing my story. Even me and my social batteries get depleted, and going to a movie by yourself is the best for that, because you get to watch a good ass movie, and nobody's going to talk to you. Nobody's, you feel solace.
Okay.
But I never, I had no routine. Basically what I'm coming down to, I had no routine. I get married, and Stella is about the routine. And it's one of many things about Stella that has made my life so much better. It's just having a routine. I told her just the other day, I didn't know we were going to have this conversation tonight. I told her just the other day, we were talking, and I said, you know what? That's the best thing about wearing scrubs to work. It's one less thing. I don't have to spend an iota of brain power on. 4 days a week, oftentimes 5 days a week. I got my scrubs. I wear my scrubs, and that's it.
Right.
And we work 5 days a week. 1 day's a casual day, so I got some fluctuation. I've got 8 sets of scrubs, so I can go over a week without even doing scrub laundry. Where when I was single, that wasn't me. Like I never knew what I was going to do, but I almost always had to do laundry because I didn't have that much, or I just would not wear scrubs. I hated feeling like I was just a monkey suit, like there's no the corrosion of conformity. Like I hate this.
Right.
And
individuality, brother.
Yeah. I gotta express myself through my tees, man, or whatever. But wearing the scrubs is so much easier, and the sleep routine. Having a routine when we go to bed, it's really not just about bedtime. It's about a routine. We go to bed around a specific time, and we watch a scary movie and cuddle until she falls asleep, and then I turn on something else that she won't watch. And now I put my earbuds on, but before I would just turn on something else.
Homework for the week.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not watching fucking
just having that routine made my morning better. When the alarm goes off, I do have multiple alarms, mostly for multiple days. But also, one thing I realize is it helps me make sure I'm staying on schedule. I'm not like sleeping through 4 alarms as a substitute for hitting the snooze. It's alarm goes off, I get up. By the time my next alarm goes off, I know I should be here. And by the time the next alarm goes off, I should be here. So a typical workday for us, I have a 4 a.m. alarm. That's for getting up. I have a 6 a.m. alarm. I should be in Columbus or at work by the time the 6 a.m. alarm goes off. Most days. I have a 6:30 alarm, which tells me that night shift should be gone by then, and I should be communicating with day shift at that point. I have a 9:20 alarm that tells me, hey, it's time for a morning meeting. I have a 11:45 a.m. every Thursday alarm that tells me it's time for the state call. So I stay on a schedule. And life is great.
Good Lord. Now, to hurry up and get past the snoozing, I've recently become accustomed to it. My wife has been a snoozer forever, and I have not influenced her whatsoever. But she has influenced me rather. So we got the reverse thing going on. So lately, whenever I have to get up with the alarm, like a specific time, like I have the worst internal clock of all time. I have the constantly changing one, and I hate it, and I'd rather just be dead. If we're being honest,
that is tough, man. It's hard on the mind and body and soul. Man.
Yeah, it fucking sucks, but trying to keep a consistent thing. Sometimes I've recently have to rely on the snooze just to get that like little bit extra, but only for like a snooze or 2 at the most. Because the problem I found that with snoozing, yes, we're talking about infinity pool, but with the problem with the snoozing,
right now we're discussing the intricacies of our sleep patterns.
Is when I hit the snooze, I am constantly waiting for the alarm to go back off. I'm like, do I have 8 minutes or do I have 2 minutes left?
That's it. And I used to be there, but it's stressful.
I hate that feeling.
Yeah.
It feels like I'm like trying to, but anyway, to drive this back to Infinity Pool. That's where I stand on snoozing. I'm constantly in anxiety. Do you like James? It just feels like a big time snoozer to his detriment.
Oh, yeah. No, he
like
would definitely be hitting the
where
snooze.
both of us lie.
He would definitely be hitting the snooze over and over again. This is a dude without responsibility.
And it's just,
right?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like that is a huge part of his character that I didn't really pick up on at first. But not long after we get M's fantasticals and James trying to get out of bed, we get what I am not very affected by crazy filmmaking shots and stuff, but for some reason, watching it this time, that shot of the resort and it's kind of tilting and spinning and it's vertical and now it's almost made me nauseous. It was like right on the cusp.
Yes, I've seen this several times. You're right. I saw it in the theaters. I've seen it at home several times. And I never felt that way. But this week I did. I felt a little bit nauseated by that.
I didn't like it.
I don't even know. Can you call it a Dutch angle when it's just constantly moving? I mean, I feel like it's a Dutch plus or something like that.
I don't care for it. I don't care for it. Like I don't remember the first time I watched this and noting that. But I mean, here we are. I've watched this twice now. How many times have you watched it now? Would you guess?
4 or 5.
Okay.
So not a crazy amount. That's less than a year old.
I remember watching Blair Witch and people being like, "Oh, it made me want to throw up," and that was fine. For some reason, this shot in particular was almost like I don't want to see this, which is interesting.
It definitely made me more uneasy, and I think the fact that it was moving and constantly moving contributes to that, and maybe that's what we were going for here.
Maybe
typically a Dutch angle is a sign. It's kind of a trope of its own, and it kind of means like, your expectations are going to be turned upside down, or what you think is happening, what's going on with this character is the opposite of what we expect. This is the opposite of the norm. And when it keeps moving and keeps churning, I don't know, especially it's not just a static shot. Like, things are happening in the different scenes.
Maybe that's what it is. That makes some uncomfortability, some nausea.
Yeah.
Like, because you see the world still moving, and there's not a lot of shots like that. Maybe for good reason.
Possibly. I definitely feel like Brandon was not afraid to deal in uncomfortableness. He's doesn't mind making you sit in that uncomfortable state.
And I watched a few YouTube videos. We'll get into some other things later, but he had I think this actually may have not have even been that. This may have been a Fangoria interview that I read, but he based some parts of this movie on an IRL vacation he had. The resort specifically. He said they were bussed in the middle of the night, to avoid seeing the surrounding areas and the slums and the poverty, right? Razor fenced in and little necessities and shops, so you're able to, I guess, be wealthy and pretend that you went to this exotic foreign land. Apparently places like this, he said this was the Dominican Republic where he went, but he didn't base Infinity Pool on a specific place, which we'll get into that in a little bit, but thematically and with these things, yeah, it was kind of a place that he had been. And it was a thought that I had, Dave. I'm like, they're fenced in this kind of impoverished land. Like, am I to believe that this is real? Another thing we will get more into later with the trouble of clones. And it's just, that was a big problem I had both times that I watched it. I'm like, we're in this place and it's rich people fenced in from essentially the poors. And I don't doubt the validity of that, but I mean, does that make good cinema? Like what does that make good storytelling?
So, I believe I watched a YouTube video this week, and I believe it was Brain Pilot on YouTube. So shout out to them. Go check them. They do movie reviews and explanations and stuff like that. And I think it was Brain Pilot, and they had a little explanation, and they proposed that the fence and the razor wire fence was not to keep the patrons safe from the islanders.
Don't go pretentious on me yet.
Yes, it's because the patrons are the dangerous ones.
No! I mean, maybe.
Oh, I don't want to get too deep in that yet, but I mean, as long as we're talking about the fence, like who is the fence protecting?
God damn it, Dave. You're right. It makes sense. It makes some kind of sense. I don't want it to, but it does.
Sure.
I hate pretentiousness, but god damn it, there is some pretentiousness going on, and it works to help explain certain things.
Sure.
You're like, wait, you don't like pretentiousness, but you like Cronenberg? Get the fuck out of here. Listen, I live my own life. Get out of my business.
His pretentiousness is dirty and filthy. I like it.
I mean, so let's lead from that. That is a great idea. I will keep note of that. But let's move forward. And this is not probably, it is my biggest problem with the movie, is kind of the plot itself of you have this resort island or resort, whatever you call it. And uncivilized outside, this razor fence.
Sure.
And they have cloning technology. I know it's brought in, but I mean, for lack of a better terminology, like you're bringing your fucking super secret tech to the poors. What are you doing?
Are they bringing it to the poors?
I mean,
so let's go ahead and talk about the
like it's out there. Like they're not doing it in the razor wire. Like you take them out there with the police, stuff.
Hold on. Under the control of the police. And who are they influenced by? The wealthy. So it's outside the razor wire, sure. They can't make it obvious what they're doing. That would be harmful to everybody. But there is dialogue in the movie about the cloning technology. And I believe it's Gabby who talks about this is widespread in this world. Like the cloning technology is out there, but no one has perfected it because no one has the, she calls the Eltaquan. Are they Eltaquan people? She calls them dramatic and melodramatic multiple times. But she also, when she's talking about the cloning technology, she talks about how poetic they are. And she says, like, everyone else has done this, but no one has perfected it because of the poetic nature of them. So it's not just about tech. It's like an art. It's, the cloning seems like it's not just wrote science. Like there's an.
I know she said Alban. How do you
Alban? That was her husband.
Yeah, like he had a part in it, which is how he wound up in this whole fucking thing. Like, I don't know that necessarily he was the originator or inventor of it, but rather was.
I don't think so, because he was an architect.
Yeah, like he was making this facility, right? But then like some of the equipment or like some such killed inadvertently some workers, and then he was responsible, air quotes, for that. And that's how they were kind of drawn into this. I'll make my double. My double will take my place and die by the hands of whatever. I don't. It's not. I'm not there for it. It just doesn't. You're telling me that the Dominican Republic, whoever the fuck they are, you can only.
I'll tokens.
The Chuck E. Cheese tokens are the only people that have the poeticness that can make a double of a Skarsgård, which there are 4 million, which we've learned tonight.
We don't know that they are the only people that have done this. Again, she talks about this is out there. They're the people that have perfected it to a degree. And I mean, that makes sense, right? Like, if you...
I don't know.
Is your soul just a series of binary numbers? Like, is the sum of your personality, could that ever be fully explained with computer program, which at its base is a bunch of ones and zeros?
I hope so.
Or you get the fuck out of here. No, you as a human being, our lives are poetry, our souls. Like, somebody asked me, what's your favorite music? And clearly I have some things, and I think I just have bopped the microphone twice in the last 10 seconds.
I've not.
Clearly there are some things that, like, okay, I love metal. I love rock, classic rock. Man, classic rock is just feel good movie. But I like ska. I like pop. Last year, my number one artist I listened to was Remy Wolf, a pop female artist of relatively little acclaim. This year, so far, which, I mean, we're 3/4 of the way through the year, she's probably my number one listen as well. I love, I just like music. And so most of the time when someone tells me what music I love, you know what my answer is? It depends on my mood. It depends on my mood.
Right.
And, what's your favorite food? Chris, what's your favorite food? Don't think about it. What's your favorite food? Burgers. Thank you. Wavelength. We're on the same wavelength here tonight. Burgers are our favorite food. And the dogs next door agree.
That's next door?
That's next door. The dogs next door agree. Maybe my next door neighbors are being burgled.
I don't know that I've ever heard your next door neighbor's dogs. Holy shit.
That's because they are good neighbors. I have great neighbors.
Wild in the streets.
Yes. No, it's a dog. They're dogs. They're good. They're good dogs, and they're good neighbors. But he's agreeing with me. He's like, yeah, that's right. We like burgers, but that doesn't mean we want burgers every day. But how could this binary ones and zeros program ever fully understand every food decision I make? If it was
fair,
that it would always default, like a computer program would always default to a burger.
Right.
But some days I don't want a burger. Some days I want a steak. Some days I want pizza. Right? It's my birthday. It's my fucking birthday. I wanted Big Head Pizza tonight. Thank you, Big Head Pizza, for providing an excellent deluxe pizza for me tonight.
Now, do you feel like they went into that with this? Because I sure don't.
I don't think they went deep into that. No, because they had other things to cover. They had other themes. There are other themes at play here.
Now, since we're here, I feel like this is a good time to talk about something that I wish there was a little more of, and something I did read about. Probably on Reddit. But I mean, at the same time, it feels a little cliche. But like, I wish there was some more hints of it.
If you say boobies, I'm taking a shot.
Trouble with doubles. It ain't boobies.
Okay, well, guess what? I'm going to take a shot anyway.
Okay, so they are only really used as like these rich assholes, kind of psycho assholes playthings, right? I would have liked for some more like speculation to a degree. And I did read some things of like James 1 actually died here, and this is James 2, and James 3 is this one. Actually, Dog James is James 1, things like that. But not a lot of it. So that makes me feel like that was never the thing, and I never felt that in the movie. Like, is this the real James, or is this another, alternate, a double? I almost wish that there was some more play with that, like get me wondering, am I even watching the same guy I started this fucking thing with? I don't know that it has to be like out in the open big, but I feel like anything, like I didn't have anything that really set me off with that idea. Did you?
Did you think you were watching Paul Rudd's Living with Yourself TV show? Because that deals with all that.
I don't know what you're talking about, but maybe I need to watch that.
Have you? There's only one season. So if that turns you off, it turns you off. And it's the cliffhanger, and it never got picked up.
God damn it.
Because fuck you, COVID.
What is that?
COVID came along, and that's what fucked it up. But the first season is a banger. Oh, it's so.
I love. Like, there's a lot to do with that. You didn't feel that with this, or what's your opinion with this?
So with this, I think the clones are a vehicle and a metaphor. I think that if you get too hung up in sometimes a machete just is a machete, but sometimes it's more. In us, the scissors are scissors, but in us, they're more than scissors. Scissors are how we cut the umbilical cord at our birth. So scissors are the separation and where we become an individual. I'm not playing Scissor Sisters with you. Come on now.
I wasn't talking to you.
But AEW. But sometimes objects or themes or actions are metaphors for something else. So I don't think the cloning is the important thing here. I think that how the clones are used are the important thing. And so I don't think the cloning itself is the important thing there. I think we are getting caught up in the themes here rather than the what is actually going.
Which is rich.
By the way, yeah, very much so. Very much so. By the way, do yourself a favor. It's only one. I know it's only one season. I know that's hard for you when there's like no completion, because there's not.
Yeah, I don't give a shit.
Living with Yourself is Paul Rudd, and it's about clones, and it's great.
They can live with one less view. Fuck them. Don't cancel shit.
Yeah.
Quit canceling shit, you fucking fucks.
I agree. They should do it. They should. I don't care if it's been 4 years. Bring it back now.
Finish it.
Yeah, bring it back now. It was so good. It was so well written.
God, I hate
it. It is basically Paul Rudd is in a rut. He misses out on the promotion at work. His wife does. Him and his wife are in a rut. He doesn't have any respect from his kids and his family and the world around him. He's in a rut. He's like down in the dumps. And his frenemy at work, who does get the promotion, is like,
shows her
man, I feel bad for you. Here, go get a massage at this place, And I promise you'll feel like a new man. And he goes to get the massage, and he feels like a new man. But he doesn't just get a massage. They clone him.
Nice.
And the new clone has a new lease on life. But the original him doesn't get killed like it's supposed to. And so now there's two of him. And like they're both fucking his wife. There's like a
at the same nice.
It's oh my God, it's so good. And when he first pulls up to the massage parlor, Tom Brady comes out and he's like, Tom Brady? He's like, yeah, I've been like 4 times, which Tom Brady has won 4 Super Bowls at that time. And maybe it's intentional, and maybe it just is the force doing good in the world. At the time this happened, like the owner of the Patriots, Robert Kraft, was embroiled in this big massage parlor controversy. So it was pretty great, but
nice.
It is definitely worth a watch.
I don't think I'm strong enough. I don't think I'm strong enough to watch like No Closure. I don't want to live that life. Like
I understand. I actually completely understand. I completely understand.
But let's continue on with this cultural, this class difference, which is honestly something the first time I watched it that I didn't even realize. And it's something that so I was I feel like at this point the rabble listening are clearly like, okay, Dave's on this side, Chris is on this side. I would say you're about right. I was watching some YouTube videos to like tell me something that I'm missing.
Sure.
Like I don't know, like I'm missing the boat completely. So I saw this one YouTuber, and if I could fucking Karsten Runquist on YouTube does a rundown of the movie. They're a little bit pretentious, I ain't gonna lie, but like they did bring up a point that I was like, huh, okay. So James isn't from money, right? Like he married into money, and so he's not rich, but he married into that. And so him acting different than the psycho rich ass people is the way it is. And you know, as he becomes broken and strange, he was already fucking strange. I don't like Alexander Skarsgård in this. I think they could
Scars.
There's a B.O.B. Bob Skarsgård could have done way better.
You mean Bill?
I said what I said.
Oh, it's A Skarsgård, B Skarsgård. Side note: when we were looking at the Skarsgård children,
bother.
When I Googled the Skarsgård family, I really wanted their names to be like A, B, C, D. I wanted to have some kind of naming fucking convention that I was like, oh, okay. But no, you just get A and B with Alex and Bill.
Yeah. Damn. Missed opportunity.
Yes. Fuck. What are you doing with your life, Stellan Skarsgård?
Having children. But
apparently he is fucking nonstop.
When James, you know, over the course of the movie, I would say the whole movie he was fucking weird, and I didn't like the way he acted. This becomes broken and strange. You know, when it becomes the end of the movie and everybody, you know, shifts into that, like, I'm gonna talk to my garage repairman. You know, like they become like their typical normal selves.
Sure.
And he's like, "What the fuck is going on?" It gave me a thought where like, is this movie too? So you get some movies, right, that are like front loaded. Like all of this exposition and story is all at the front. And I feel like this is an important part that I didn't pick up on even till I had to fucking watch a YouTube video.
Sure.
Which is my own problem. But like, I feel like there needed to be some more of that to explain that. I mean, it could have been more subtly, and you could be like, Chris, it was fair, but more subtly for my dumbass to understand.
I feel like that was that's the ribbon. That's the little piece of the candy on the top of the cake. So it's not even the icing on the cake. Like that's the garnish on the cake. That's the butter garlic sauce on the steak right there. That's the topping, man. That's it. But it's not to be discarded. Like that's a big thing. I'll just jump in here with theme. So I feel like that scene, they're all on the shuttle bus going back to the airport to leave, and everybody kind of acting like, oh, like nothing ever happened. I feel like that is so important to the story because it is showing one that the rich people really fundamentally, when they let their guard down and they're just being people, they're terrible people, but they're actually not any different than us. I can't remember which wife it is. One of the wives says something like, or one of the husbands says something like, I can't leave her home alone. She'll rearrange the house and paint a wall. I'm married to that. If I go out and like spend a day out, I will come home to furniture rearranged and a random wall or a random room being repainted. Like that's Stella's thing. I have to complain at her every time. If I know I'm going away, when me and the kids went to the New York to watch the Yankees game and she stayed home with the pups, I was like, please, for the love of God, don't rearrange the furniture. You've already got a fucked up back. Don't do this. But that's the way Stella is. I know to her core that's who she is. And that's what I feel like this is these people are fundamentally, at their heart, they're not actually any different than us. But the whole movie says that they are. And the only difference is the difference between them and us.
Furniture, you little baby. I'm going to text her that tomorrow.
She's fucked. Yes. No, Stella would never pull out a gun and act crazy, but I mean,
not to my request, anyways. Change my furniture. How about you fuck off?
I don't want there to be any confusion. Stella is wonderful. I love her. She is perfect. At the least, she is perfect for me. But she is a little bit crazy. I really don't even want to say all women are. Dude, everybody is. Everybody's a little bit crazy. Everybody's got their thing. Crazy.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, everybody's got their own shit. And that's Stella's thing, is like every once in a while she's just like, she needs to rearrange the furniture and paint the house, or paint a room, or paint a wall, or something like that. Every once in a while.
Speaking as her kin, her blood kin. Bloodkin, that's a cool name for a fucking horror fucking thing.
That's like Leprechaun 8 Bloodkin.
As her bloodkin, I feel that a lot, but like the way we have shit, like that's the only way it can be. And so I've kind of resigned myself to that. But I'm like right there with her. I'm like, oh man, if I could move things. it just gives you some kind of sense of I don't know.
Control.
Like, I don't
or change, like you're changing something, like something's going to change. You just
this big thing, and you're in charge of it, and maybe that's what it is. Like I've got big plans.
Have you ever dated a girl that like once every 3 months it would be the hair, like radically change color or radically change style? You know, maybe like, she's proud of her long hair. She spent 9 years growing long hair. And then 1 month it's just like, fuck it, I'm going to cut my hair and dye it green. And that's some people's thing. Stella's thing is not that. Stella's thing is painting a room of the house and rearranging the living room furniture or the bedroom furniture.
That is on brand. That's on brand. That's on DNA, I would say.
Absolutely. My thing is about every 3-4 months, I get this itch like, no, I really need to like create. And so like I'll buy these are true life examples from I'll buy a leatherworking craft kit. And so for like a day and a half, I'll watch leatherworking videos and I'm going leather.
You can be an artisan.
Yeah. And then like 3 days later, it's like, nope, I guess I'm working for a living. That I will say, and this is a full credit to you, Chris.
Thank you.
The Horror House could have easily been this.
For me, like working station.
Oh, yeah. We did talk about this for a long time before we ever like, and I would have been content with that. And you were like, no, let's actually do something. And you did some shit, and here we are. 5 seasons and 130 probably episodes later. Here we are. So
it's a team effort.
Yeah.
We do what we can.
But I feel like that scene, that's what that is that it's that discussion. It's the mundane discussion. These really, at the end of the day,
but it comes from
they are really
place,
not
right?
different
like,
for this.
I mean, we're not having like barbaric conversations. Like, I'm like, oh man, I was listening. I learned some Queensryche songs the other day, and you're like, I started back up my leatherworking. Like, that's a far cry from like, so I killed a fucking child's uncle and then made a double of myself for like $400,000 and then had them kill that.
So what's the difference? And this is the core theme of Infinity Pool. What's the difference?
I feel like, okay,
between what you do when you go crazy. You're going to have to
really sell me on this, because I feel like this is
the difference is that when you are wealthy, and I'm talking intrinsically wealthy, because like, you nailed it.
No thought about it.
No thoughts.
It is what it is.
This is exactly. I'm going to read for you word for word the short little blurb I started writing this week. And this is it, word for word. James isn't wealthy.
Read me.
James isn't wealthy, but he enjoys spending money, enjoys having no responsibilities, but it leaves him empty. He is easily seduced by the idea of living consequence-free. And so that's it. Like, James is seduced into this world, but these other people, these rich people, they are all sound like and act like they're born into this. Even when Gabby and Alvin are talking about like where they're from, like, right? They met in Paris, but they both were like, oh no, I'm from here and here. And she's like, I'm from here and here. So they both are international travelers. That tells me right away they're born into a level of privilege that I will never see. I work my ass off and I will never see the level of privilege that they're born into. And this is part of the theme. To sum it up, I have seen a Facebook meme several times that says, if the punishment for a crime is a fine, then it's only a crime to the poor. And this is what we have here manifest. Taken to an absurdist nature. Comedy and horror are real life taken to absurdist natures. And so that's what we have here. Murder. What crime could be worse than murder, or maybe like, child sex stuff? But at its base, what crime could be worse than murder? And yet here we have the consequence is none. There's none to these people. And James is seduced into that. And, we can talk about that, and we can talk about Gabby's game, because I feel like this is all a game to her.
I mean, she's fucking insanity. But, I mean, like, if it's a fine, it's a crime for the rich, right?
Or if it's a crime, if it's a fine, it's only a crime to the poor.
Yeah.
Because what is a fine to the rich?
You said that.
And I actually thought about this a couple weeks ago. So when I run for Senate, please vote for me. All crimes, any crime that has a fine as the consequence, and I'm talking speeding, parking, whatever.
Right.
Instead of saying that crime, that fine is $300. What it should be is that crime is 0.1% of your wealth. Because if I'm a multimillionaire, if I'm Jeff Bezos, my speeding ticket fine is the same as someone who's living on welfare, paycheck to paycheck, or like living on a minimum wage job, and my fine for speeding is the same dollar amount as theirs, it means nothing to me. It means everything to them. So it's not a crime to me. So let's even it out. Let's make it a percent of our wealth. And so, I mean, we obviously don't have that here, but we have this same idea. It's not a crime to them. Nothing is a crime to them. They could get away with anything.
Yeah. I'm interested. What are your thoughts on the poor folk? Right, like, so James, hits the guy, and turns out to, is it his nephew? I want to say that is the one that stabs James's double.
Is it a nephew or a son?
I forget exactly.
But it's family. It's the oldest, surviving family.
And I mean, for the rich, it's like, I'm just paying my way out of this. I don't really give a shit. But for the poor, this kid going in there stabbing him, what does that mean for them? Like, in this instance, I'm not talking really about a real world instance, unless you got, something to apply to this. I'm all ears.
Sure.
But what?
Sure.
What are your thoughts? Like, he just goes through the motions still, even though it doesn't really matter so much. Like, I mean, there's some kind of a life involved here.
And it's exactly, you just nailed it on the head. The consequence doesn't actually matter. But what they do is they satisfy the bloodlust of the common man. Like, they make the common man feel like, oh no, we're going to make it feel like we're really hurting somebody. Like, there's real consequences here. But at the end of the day, it's fake. It's fake. It's hollow consequences to the rich. And you've just boogeymaned the poor. You've just told them, like, oh, you're going to stab this son of a bitch. You're going to get him back. You're going to get your father's life back. But does it bring their father back? How about if the real penalty was not that you get to come back? What if it was that we use this technology to bring the poor person back? The cost would be the same.
Right.
But it's not. We don't use it that way.
Yeah.
We don't use it that way because the poor people actually face the consequences.
I don't think that's the case in this, because in this movie it feels like the case is like the poor person just gets, they were able to stab the gut of this guy, so they're sated, like it's fine, like to see him.
Sure.
And then even James has that idea of it, of like, later on the child choking him, which terrible shot. Like, he's barely putting any pressure on fucking Skarsgård's neck. Really get in there.
Yeah, fucking jam some fingers into his throat there.
Like,
do something.
Is that I would be led to believe that this is some kind of occurrence, especially with all these other rich assholes, that there are children that are just so easily swayed into just stabbing another human, which I don't buy into.
Exactly. But does that make his dad come back, or his uncle, whatever it is? Does that make his loss?
No, but like you get almost
doesn't.
A satisfactory response from him whenever you're
right.
I'm
so
not there
we
for
trade we train the children to accept this the way it is, and we tell them, oh no, there really is consequence for everyone, but there really isn't.
Right. I feel like when you reach a certain age, you get there, but like I still feel like you have an innate conscience and morality to where you're like, is me stabbing this guy going to do anything for him? That's where I feel like have wound up. Like I don't want to fucking kill another person because of this. Like, even if there was rage or something,
only thing he has.
But
it's the only thing he has.
Like, why does that have to? Why does because he got killed make me a murderer?
Sure, but again, I feel like this is another thing. We are training up the poor into violence and retribution. We teach them that this is equality. You get to kill them back. But in reality, there is no, yes, it seems like you're getting retribution, but you're not. You're not. It's just a perpetuated cycle of violence. Maybe. And we have that. We have a criminal justice system that provides that.
I don't feel like that's the message that he's trying to get across here, though.
And so what message is he trying to get across?
Mia Goth boobies?
Shit. You know what? It's a message I can get behind.
I mean,
it's a Mia Goth. Mia Goth is fine.
Like,
she is fine. Fine. Fine.
Don't stick your nose in crazy, they say, and now is a good time. I have 2 reviews, Rabble, that I want to bring up during the course of this review. This may be a long horror house because we are going for it, but I have 2 reviews. One I'm going to bring up now, one I'll bring up later because it's just kind of funny. But one, Abigail, 2 out of 5 stars on Google. And this is just the first 2 sentences, but I thought they were funny enough to include.
This is a review of Infinity War?
Of Infinity Pool.
Or Infinity Pool? God damn. Thanos. Okay.
I am Skarsgård. Abigail on Google reviews says, why people so admired by Mia Goth? She don't even have eyebrow. And well, the rest isn't as funny as that, but it's as grammatically incorrect.
Okay.
But that was the perfect summation of what Abby had to offer for her 2 stars out of 5. She don't even have eyebrow. And I'm like, you know what? She don't. I did notice that. I did not
notice, but as you were reading that, I have clicked over to the IMDb page for Infinity Pool, and it's just continuously showing this trailer. And as you're reading this, it shows the scene in the Chinese restaurant, and indeed, Mia Goth does not have fucking eyebrows, or they're just bleached so pale blonde that they disappear into her face. So yes, Abigail, you are correct.
Why people so admire by Mia Goth? She don't even have.
I don't know what that means. Why people are so admired by
people.
Mia Goth?
Why people?
Why? Okay. Okay, don't turn this into a racial thing, Abigail.
Yeah, almost. Why people so admire by Mia Goth or Mia Goth? I don't know the pronunciation.
I think
she don't even have eyebrows. But there's one. 2 out of 5 stars. Hey, she was missing 2 out of 2 eyebrows, so it's just for you, Abby.
If the lead actress is missing eyebrows and still does research we are an hour plus into the show before we note that she's not missing eyebrows. Then I feel like that's noted. Abigail, noted, and please come on the show and talk to us at some point.
Which brings me to another point that I want to bring up is the hallucinations and orgy scenes, which will also lead us to my second review that I have wrote down. So let me start us off, Dave, and then you come in. So the orgy scenes and the hallucinations are interesting to me and their abstractness and like the random flashes of horror in them, you know, like as the gore hounds that we are. And to me, he proceeds to use those to no great effect. Like here they are, here we go. And I'm not, it doesn't mean anything to me. So every time there's a hallucination or after hallucination effect, and not a single one like really interested me. Like, I mean, I love nudity. It's great. But like, does that serve the story a purpose? I don't know. What? Okay. Let me get this off my chest real quick, and then the floor is yours. One of the things that I really like about David Cronenberg is, he said, when it comes to hallucinations and things of that nature, Naked Lunch being a big one, Videodrome being a big one, he says, no transitions or weird effects to signify that a character is having a hallucination or dreaming, because why? Because it's real to them and it should feel that way to us. And I'm like, I absolutely agree with that idea.
I have not heard that said. I have not heard that quote from David Cronenberg, and I can't disagree with it. I like. That's the thing about a dream, and I've talked about that.
I had to
dreams,
live with it to come to terms with it, because I feel like I'm in your spot as well, where I'm like, I don't like that. But the more that I've lived with it, the more that I'm like, you know what? Like if I'm under some kind of a substance, whatever is happening to me at that time, like I agree with, I'm there with that. That is my reality. So if
perception is reality.
Like, do I have these wiggly lines like to represent this to me? No. So why should me now, to put this in, I was watching an interview with Brandon Cronenberg, who had a different, somewhat of a different kind of idea to that than his dad. So we may just be two separate plums in a plum tree. Is that a phrase? But
it is now.
Yeah, I really liked that, because like if I'm hallucinating, I don't know that this isn't what it should be. So I don't think it needs that pomp and like swirly lines of whatever's colors and fast camera cuts. And that kind of makes me groan a little bit, those kinds of shots. Like, even though there's like some cool horror in there, like I feel like if you're telling me it's hallucinations and dreams and stuff, like I'm not there for it.
The only thing I would disagree with you here is that in this movie, those things happen during the cloning process, right? That's the only time we get that.
Well, we get one later, and so he's after she shoots him in the leg.
When he's sleeping off. Yeah, when he okay. You do. I'll concede that. But I feel like
I did it.
Given context, I don't think we're in a situation where, no matter how absurd the dream sequence is, we were never going to believe it was real at this point. So I don't think it detracted from that by having the flashes and having the quick cuts and having the lights.
The whole time I was watching him, I'm like, this is a hallucination. So why does it apply? Why should that build to my dread or horror? So it doesn't.
But I mean, even if it's a hallucination, and even if we know it's a hallucination, doesn't detract from the value maybe that we glean from that. Have you ever told somebody a story about a dream you had?
No, because I hate that.
No? Are you fucking kidding me?
Yes, but
no.
I hate the idea of
sure. There we go. There's the truth.
But the whole time I'm trying to keep it brief, and I'm like not trying to build something of it, because I forget who it was. I think it was maybe fuck it. Who's the comedian? Who's a comedian? Name a comedian.
Richard Pryor.
Almost.
Patty Arbuckle.
Almost.
Sinbad.
White man, ponytail.
Ryan Hussein?
No, 70s,
80s.
George
Miller?
Carlin. Goddamn.
George Carlin. Okay. Goddamn. What the fuck? Okay, we lost every listener during that exchange.
I loved that exchange. That's one of the rawest things. It was great. I think it was him that once said, like, I don't want to hear about your dreams. I have my own dreams. I don't want to hear about your stupid dreams. I got my own stupid dreams.
Right.
And
right. No, I understand. I understand the sentiment.
And, ever since then, like I said, like my wife will be like, I had the craziest dream. I'm like, cool. I can't wait to hear this. And it's because George Carlin influenced me, but I mean, he's not wrong. But
he's not wrong. And I have heard that. I think I have heard that thing, but I also know, like, if Stella has a crazy fucking dream, I'm going to hear about it. I'm not going to hear about it first thing. I'm going to hear about it usually on the way home from work, after like it was a tense drive to work, like we don't talk to each other. And then on the way home, she'll be like, I had a crazy dream and you were, I had a pet goldfish and you murdered him and I was mad at you when I woke up. Like, what the fuck?
I didn't even do fucking shit.
What?
That's like one of the, almost like one of the cheating dreams, which I've heard enough about, where it's like, you cheated on me in the dream.
Yes.
You need to fucking do something for me. And I'm like, I'm not a prisoner of your reality.
Because you had a fucked up dream.
Like what?
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. My dreams, when I remember them, although sometimes like I'll be like, I really wish I could have a nightmare, and then I'll have a good nightmare every once in a while. But sometimes my dreams, when I remember them just at random, it's like, it's work, but it's not at the work setting. It's in the high school cafeteria. And when you're dreaming it, it never seems out of place, no matter how weird it is.
I think that's a big thing with like pure nightmares, is that it's so individual. Like it really only affects that person. So it doesn't make a good story.
Sure.
Because I used to have one where my dad was like invaders came, and then like, what was it? Like suddenly, like they attacked him, and he couldn't use his legs anymore. I'm like, how does that make any fucking sense as a nightmare to anybody else except for me? And at the same time, like, what does that mean? I don't know what that fucking means. But I remember that was one of the scariest dreams I ever had.
Have you ever read like a dream book or anything that said,
I'm
like,
afraid to.
Oh, this is what the different things mean in dreams. I always scoff at those. Like, are you telling me that everybody in the world, like, if they see a frog in their dream, that means the same thing? Like, no, some people are scared of frogs, so they see the frog in their dream, it means one thing. And other people think frogs are cute, so if they see a frog, it probably means something else.
I would say there's a third one in there who's the person that actually does the weed eating in that household, and that has killed so many frogs accidentally. That would be me.
It's guilt.
Yeah, I'm like, oh my God, there's one of them fuckers that was just there. He didn't even try to get away.
So Chris, I had this dream, and I was going in front of the Council of Frogs, and they were like, "You have killed so many of our brethren."
Yes, that's for sure me.
And then they made my nipples fall off.
that is nightmares. That is nightmares. I can get behind that.
Right.
Skarsgård
they're not good for anything.
Slightly perturbed by his rich friends is nightmares to me.
I don't know where we are in this conversation anymore.
We've taken so many right turns that
and I'm going to take a shot. By the way, for the rabble, if you're drinking at home with us tonight, I am shooting Burial Barton, 86 proof bourbon, and I'm chasing it with Captain and zero sugar Dr. Pepper cherry, and I recommend it to everyone.
Now, I don't know if it was last week or the week before. Maybe since I'm doing also YouTube now and taking earlier parts of this season, I'm kind of privy to the present as well as the past of this season. So there was, I think it was
Chris is a Time Lord.
I am a Time Lord. And you said something about a Pepsi, cherry Pepsi Zero.
Yes.
And that's where I thought you were going to go. And I was a little bit disappointed that that's not where you went tonight.
Oh, let me just say, of all the crazy things we could say about this show in a horror themed podcast, I might be a cherry man or I might be a Pepsi man and not a Coke man. And all my whole life, Chris, I thought I was a Coca-Cola man, and I might be a Pepsi man, and it has thrown my life upside down.
I'm there for you. I lived this life myself, and then I became a Phil Brooks fan, and then he showed me what betrayal was.
Phil Brooks, what the fuck is that? Is that a country musician?
That is. We have done one of his movies on here, The Girl on the Third Floor.
Phil Brooks,
CM Punk himself.
Oh, okay.
On his whatever shoulder has a big Pepsi tattoo. I'm like, you know what? Maybe I judged Pepsi too poorly. This has been years.
Right, Phil Brooks. You mean Edge?
Shut your shoes! I will fire you right now. Edge ain't a bitch. Phil Brooks is a bitch. Even though I talk nice about him, no. But like, I literally.
This is totally like. This is totally just for us jokes at this point.
It's your birthday. Phil Brooks, it's your birthday.
Oh, happy birthday. Happy birthday, Rabble.
Chi-Town guy.
All right. Pepsi. All right. I'm there for it, man.
It's fucking great. I'm tired of pretending it's not. I will take a Pepsi over a Coke most days. A straight Pepsi. I ain't talking cherry either.
Definitely, if we're talking cherry, definitely what? So, cherry Coke. If you get a cherry Coke, it's called cherry Coke. If you get a cherry Pepsi, it's not called cherry Pepsi. Those who know, if you know, you know, it's not cherry Pepsi, it's wild cherry Pepsi.
Okay.
And I believe it. I'm there for it. Like, that's not just semantics there. It's wild.
Gabby would have went wild cherry Pepsi. I tell you what.
Oh, yeah. Mia Gothis is a wild cherry Pepsi person. But I'm cherry Dr. Pepper, man. If you can get it does exist. And I bought a 12-pack one time of the cherry vanilla Dr. Pepper Zero.
Good Lord.
It's got a lot of moving parts there. And that's probably why it was only available one time. Like, it was only the ancient Mayans had the technology to create it. Right. But it was Chef's Kiss. Like, Chef Slowick would have been like, this is the pinnacle of human achievement.
I'll wrap
right
this
here.
Around your neck while I burn you to death.
I think I've said before, but I'm kind of drunk, so I'll say it again. Currently, when I get a fountain pop, if the good zero options aren't available, which means 99% of the time, I'm mixing Dr. Pepper and root beer. And today, on the way home, I got me a little Dr. Pepper, probably 45% Dr. Pepper, 45% root beer, and 10% wild cherry Pepsi.
Okay. I thought it was going to be real weird and be like lemonade or fucking water.
Oh no, I can't do that. I can't do that.
Dave, I feel like you're.
So I don't even know what topic we were on.
We were
Chris.
on like the cultural class differences. But that I feel like like Gabby. You're firmly in Gabby territory. I feel like I'm firmly in James territory, where I'm like, I love straight Pepsi. I don't want anything in this. And you're like, I want a little bit of
Gabby
fucking crazy and madness and fucking anything else also in that third category. You know, so let me ask you this, Dave. Did Gabby, I mean, obviously she targeted James, but she knew I
don't think there's a question.
Like the book he had written, he hadn't written another one. She plays up being a fan of his book, clearly knows something about him. Or does she know more about him? Is she, I mean, M is barely in the movie. I mean, a fraction of the movie, but we know she comes from wealth, and I mean, she's the way that James pays for everything. Are they is Gabby really after her? Because like, I mean, James doesn't have anything to offer.
Gabby after M?
Yeah, like what does James have to offer? A
submission.
Bad book? They could get submission from anybody.
No, submission. That's what he has to offer.
Like they leave him behind without a second thought. Like, who cares?
Exactly. Because they got what they wanted. The rich in this case, they want nothing more than control. And so they're able to seduce James. Like I said, he's wealthy, but he didn't come from wealth. And he enjoys this no responsibility lifestyle he's been given. But now he's afforded the opportunity to go from no responsibility to no consequences. And he does that. And there are consequences to his life before. Because if there weren't, then he wouldn't need to hide the passport. Like if there were no consequences in his life, he wouldn't need to hide the passport.
Why do they wait to show that though? Like, what's the point of that in it?
I think that at the time they show it, it's supposed to be a little bit of a zing. Like, oh, it's not really hidden. Like he willfully submitted to this lifestyle, and he was. They go to the dude's house, and they don't start the shooting. So I mean, I don't want to.
Great effect, by the way. Dan Martin has some great effects in this. There's a shot or two of straight bullet into flesh, and it's unnerving.
Yeah, it is great. It's not so over the top that it looks fake. It looks very realistic. They may have murdered somebody for this. Yeah, movie.
Some of those shots in particular, like there was a naked woman that gets shot in the back at, I forget which point it was.
Yep, that's exactly the one I had in my mind.
I hate it. It looks too real. I fucking hate Dan Martin. I hate you and your work. You're the worst.
And Alvin has clothes on at the time, but when he gets shot in the thigh, looks like. I mean, you don't get as much visceral feel because he has clothes on. It's not flesh,
right.
But it looks very realistic. I mean, everything.
The chubby man's penis in that one scene as well. That may not be a thing.
Fucking, wait, okay. Can we take one moment? Let me open up Reaper here. We're at this time with all the junk, and you'll probably edit something out. We're 136 in.
Hour 36
so
minutes.
I will dedicate no more than 1 minute here. But I want to say for the ladies, you get
what you give?
Alex, you get his abs, you get his ass, you get multiple shots of male ass, you get fat rich man penis. So for the ladies, like, there's nudity in here for you too.
There's some.
We don't want to. We're not going to delve into
now,
it greatly.
There is another cut of the movie that's uncut, and there is, the beach handy that Gabby gives to James, which I hate that scene. It's so uncomfortable, which is fair.
It is
absolutely fair.
It is the most.
I'm like, how
uncomfortable handy.
How could you stay rigid? Is what I wonder. Maybe that's just me.
If you were James, no, hold on a minute. Are you serious?
Yeah, like
you're James. You're taking a leak on the beach. You've been eyeballing Gabby all day, and I will absolutely say that M is more beautiful than Gabby.
I mean,
like, I'm not shitting on Mia. Mia is beautiful. Gabby is beautiful, but I think M is way hotter than Gabby. But it's the forbidden fruit, right? He's taking a leak on the beach, and she just walks behind and grabs it, and she just gives it a fucking handy.
Now, there is. I guess if I don't know about the actual release, but I know in the versions that were being shown, there is an unrated version that shows a prosthetic penis and the aftermath of that, which we see the fallout, but we don't see,
I see what you did there.
And Dan Martin, the effects maestro in this movie, I don't agree with your color of blood, Dan, but I respect it. You remind me of Savini in that manner, so use that in the best of ways. He'll never listen to this, but apparently there was a prosthetic penis, Skarsgård, and it had to be cut from that. I don't know if you can actually see that anywhere.
I wonder why.
Yeah, I like reading these things. It's like, oh, we couldn't do the R version, and we had to cut that, or it wouldn't be an R. I'm like, really? You don't say. Wow.
Right.
Wow.
Surprising.
Wow. This is my surprise face. Oh, wow. Okay. Cool.
I mean, Gabby is clearly no Gale the Snail here. She's not just mashing it; she's jerking it.
Well,
so, how? I don't understand your comment. Like, how do you stay hard? No, the girl I've been eyeballing. It absolutely doesn't matter that she's not as hot as the woman you got. He's got fucking M. And like I said, I think M is hotter than Mia. Mia has this fucking hot, crazy thing. And if you're a Hyatt, like, you got a thing for crazy bitches, like some. If she's a little crazy, she jumps up a notch.
I think what you would say if you're a Hyatt or a Cronenberg at this point. Because I'm
or a Cronenberg, yeah. Because I'm like, you move her up at least a full point on a 10-point scale, maybe a point and a half,
is
just for the craziness factor. And Gabby gets that.
She's going in dry,
but she clearly knows what she's doing. Like, she's got technique too,
with probably some fucking grains of sand in there. Get the fuck out of here! I could not shrivel up like a fucking George from Seinfeld more.
Oh,
absolutely,
no,
absolutely.
No.
I
fucking disagree.
I wanted to die in real life.
Again, she's not Gale the Snail just mashing it into oblivion.
I don't know. Rabble, thoughts, opinions. Let us know. Let them YouTube comments.
Okay, yeah. That will be the poll for this episode. Like, if Mia
she don't have eyebrows, dudes,
came up behind you and started jerking your dick, would that be pleasurable or no? I know you're giving no frontal
context.
Don't care. I don't care.
Oh my! You have to care, because that's what's living. She ain't got eyebrows, Dave.
That's so maybe her being behind you is better because fucking
dude.
Look, I'm a cancer survivor. You know that. I'm a cancer survivor. I lost every bit of hair on the top of my head. I didn't lose my eyebrow. So if you stood
behind Skarsgård, it wouldn't be any different from Mia Goth.
What?
That's what are you saying?
I'm saying if I was Skarsgård and Mia Goth come up behind me and start jerking my dick when I was out for a piss, no problem. Yes, the problem is
what you're presenting to the public.
He lasted 30 seconds. He probably did pretty good at that situation. Like 30 seconds. 12
seconds at best.
Sure, but it sounds like you're saying, like, how did he even stay hard? Like, that's crazy. No, that craziness fucking lends to it.
She didn't have eyebrows. Do you not remember Abigail?
I know, but she's behind you. Don't even have to look at her eyebrowless face.
That's what I was saying.
I used to 3 years in a row, me and Jake and my dad used to go to the Brickyard every year. We used to go to the Brickyard every year. 3 years in a row on Brickyard Day, me and my girlfriend broke up. 3 years in a row, I came out to all her shit moved out of my house. 1 year, I came out and she moved everything out of the house. She took all the fucking furniture. She took my stereo. She left me with my fucking clothes, and that's it. She took the ice cube trays out of the freezer. Like, what kind of sick bitch takes the ice cube trays out of the freezer?
But what about her eyebrows?
I'm leaving the eyebrows out. I'm just talking about her craziness.
That's an important factor.
The fourth year, after those 3 years, I came home and she was still there. And guess what, Chris? I was fucking disappointed. I was fucking disappointed.
You're going to have to build me a bridge right now because I need help across.
James has been eye fucking Mia all day. And so she walks up and jerks him. He's not supposed to be excited. I don't understand where you're coming from.
I just don't think he's that. I don't think he's a good enough actor for me to have picked up on that.
That he was eye fucking her?
He eye fucks whatever he's looking at because he sucks.
Okay. Well, let's rewind. What did he say to M at breakfast? M's like, let's go to the new Chinese place. And what did he say? No, I'm like, fuck that. Like, it's fake Chinese.
Right.
But but Gabby says, let's go to the Chinese place. And he's like, fuck yeah, I've been wanting to go to the Chinese place.
Is that what okay.
So, come on. It's that forbidden fruit, right? So I'll go one further, and I know it wasn't because when he first meets Gabby and the dude's doing the 4-wheeler on the beach and scaring
which
the
is a true thing, apparently, according to Brandon Cronenberg. Happened.
Sure.
It happened.
I mean, and I believe that. Like, that's a good protest. But look at what the dude on the 4-wheeler is wearing. He's wearing a tan suit. And so 2 minutes later, when Albin walks up, guess what? I thought Albin was the dude on the 4-wheeler, and I'm not 100% certain that he wasn't. I think that blaming it on the locals is bullshit.
The first time I watched it, I think that was my thoughts too, you know?
Okay, so we're on the same page there.
I think I've just pushed it out of my brain and accepted that it wasn't because of the way they framed it, but I didn't think of that. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah, I don't think it's truly a protest against the rich being there. I think that this is more of the rich acting out and not having consequences. So
okay, well we are going hard on this episode. Is there any other points that you would like to bring up? She didn't have eyebrows.
Sure.
Either of them?
Yes, I know that now, but I admit that while I watched, I did not notice, and I never thought I would not notice.
Wow.
I never thought I would not notice somebody not having eyebrows, because that's.
I wouldn't say it was a friend.
She has them let me say there, let's clear the air. She actually has them. They're just dyed so pale blonde that they fit in, but she might as well not have.
I had an acquaintance in high school that had alopecia, and so ever since then, I've really picked up on people that haven't had eyebrows. For better or worse. Clearly, Abigail, 2 out of 5 stars. It was the same. Why people so admired by Maya Goth? She don't even have eyebrow.
I watched The Wall on acid. And since then, I am really hypersensitive to people's eyebrows.
There you have it.
We are both sensitive to that, feel like, for different reasons. And yeah, I didn't notice it the first time.
Call back to last episode where we actually had opposing opinions of Phantasm and then ended up rating it the exact same. That's one of my favorite episodes. It's like, wow, we went absolutely different directions, and then here we are. Look at us. Look at what we did. Look at what we created.
All right, so let's I'm going to move this quick and combine 2 things in my notes, if I may be so bold. I'm going to talk about the sound, and I want to talk about the filmography that made it so uncomfortable. Okay. So the sound design in this movie is fantastic. Again, I recently have enjoyed putting the earbuds in and watching these movies after Stella rolls over. And so I get to enjoy the sound a little bit more and pay attention to the sound a little bit more. And I thought it was really good in this, like when they are leaving the beach and they're coming into town, and everybody's got a buzz on, and they run over the farmer. James hits the farmer and kills him.
Yeah.
But everything leading up to that, like the sound is ominous. It really sets a good tone. And I felt like the sound design was well used in this. It's very John Carpenter-ish. Like it's synth, which it has a little bit of a revival, I feel like now. But it's very synth horror tracky. It's very good at setting the tone. So I love the sound. And then the other thing Brandon Cronenberg does great is there are several scenes where we just kind of see these conversations play out. Mostly I'm thinking in Gabby and Albin's apartment when he meets like all of the wealthy people.
Okay.
And all this is going on. And he lets these scenes play out with almost a voyeuristic shot.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're out of the conversation. You're looking into the conversation. And it really feels like you're just standing just outside of the circle and just taking it all in. And it's very unsettling. I feel like it's very good at being very unsettling. And the conversation, this is not Age of Ultron, Joss Whedon. This is not Joss Whedon dialogue.
Right. It's
this is not Quentin Tarantino dialogue, because Joss Whedon and Quentin Tarantino are very much similar. They're not on the same level. Quentin Tarantino clearly is the master of this hyper mundane dialogue where we're talking about what's going on and we're talking about this, and it's mundane, but it's not mundane. Like we have this hyper dialogue going on. And instead, Brandon Cronenberg here uses mundane. It becomes very mundane. dialogue. Even when they're talking about James wrote a book, or I designed a resort. It's very mundane dialogue, but because of the way the dialogue mixes with the way it's shot, where you're just an outsider, it feels like you're being like you're ear hustling the whole time. What's the number one cause of death, Chris? In the whole world, I'm going to tell you, I don't even want you to guess. The number one cause of death is meddling. And you feel like you're meddling here. Like there's a conversation going on. It's not meant for you because of not just the audio, but the way it's shot. It feels like you're just ear hustling on people.
Right, right.
Which is very uncomfortable. So any thoughts on the sound or the filmography itself?
I mean, the filmography of Brandon Cronenberg. I mean, we'll see where he goes. I think I like Possessor more. I connected with that way more than this one.
Sure.
I feel like you did you finish Possessor?
Yes.
Where do you stand on the two of them? Which one did you like better? Simply put.
I think I do agree with you that overall, as a horror film, I think Possessor.
Not even as a horror film. Which one did you like the most of the two of them?
This one made me think more. I have to say, this one made me think more. Yeah. But it's very close. But I think that Possessor has more of horror.
I would agree. The music didn't. I mean, it didn't thrill me. It didn't unthrill me. I'm very in the middle with it. But if you got something out of it, I'm there for it. So, if one of us got
overall, I don't know if I've ever asked you this, Chris. Overall, do you prefer in the middle of a movie or throughout a movie? Do you prefer original score? And I know you're a big fan of that Carpenter synth,
right.
But that to me that falls under original score. So are you a fan of original score, or are you more a fan of music,
like licensed music
that existed outside of the movie, used in a way to tell a story or to advance the
ultimate is a mix of both, because the real world exists in that kind of a manner. I mean, you have you know, I mean, if your life became Laurie Strode, for example, like a good portion of your whatever you just existed before Halloween night is going to be licensed music from whatever era you're in or whatever your friends were listening to, yada yada. But to get the horror and the ambiance of that, you need original music. So I feel like it's got to be a little bit of both. If you're trying to be true with it, you know, that's where I love both. I mean, they both serve their purpose. To be real, you need both, I feel like.
Okay. I know there is a name for it, but there is a name for music, specifically like popular music. It doesn't have to be pop music, but popular music or music outside of the movie,
right?
That is played, but is also happens to be the music that the characters in the movie are played for. So, like Footloose, Kevin Bacon turns on the radio and then goes to invents country line dancing in an abandoned warehouse. there's a name for that. Like you're not just listening to it; he's listening to it, so it kind of ties you to the movie. And I don't know what that movie is. That name is, but I agree. I do like a mix, and I feel like popular music works best when the characters in the movie are listening to that music, as well as the watcher of the movie listening to the music. So I do feel like maybe a mix, and maybe this is just.
But I mean, you got to be realistic, and
maybe this is the very old Barton talking.
I mean, you got to be realistic if you are making a movie, right? Like, not everybody can afford the licensing for a fucking Taylor Swift song. So sure. I mean, what's the next best thing you got? So there's that as well. But yeah, I mean, if you could, like we were talking about Phantasm last week, and I didn't realize, we both talked about this last week, that I was like, wow, I didn't realize this.
How good the theme
I didn't
is.
know that this was in my top 10, but here she sits, and like, you know, who knew? But I think all my points have been hit on. Actually, before that, do you want to hear Kimberly Richards' 1-star review?
Oh yeah, 1-star review
out of 5 stars.
So off the top of the, before you tell me the review, I don't know how you're down to a 1-star on this, even if you don't like it, even if this is not like this is not ultimately my cup of tea. So I'm super interested to see what what did you say? Kimberly Richards. Star? Kimberly Reynolds? Kimberly Richards.
Google reviews.
I'm super interested to see what Kimberly Richards has to say about this.
Let's tear it to shreds. Even though we're on, we're on opposite ends of this, but I feel like we're going to have things to say about this review. And I ain't singling them out. I just reading through the worst reviews and the ones that really struck out to me. Abigail, Mia Goth and God Eyebrows. And here we have Kimberly Richards, who says, I have never been more upset in my life. The only thing this movie accomplished was making me feel extremely uncomfortable and confused. Absolutely no plot, just violence and unnecessary nudity with disturbing, perverse visuals of bodily secretions. Not to mention the fact that my partner and I chose to watch this movie for, air quotes, outdoor movie night, where we take the TV out on our balcony, parentheses, that faces the street, and watch a movie together on our outdoor couch. Now, I am absolutely horrified that a neighbor could have seen one of the many obscene and grotesque scenes in this movie, and now they think that they live next to a couple of mentally disturbed freaks. We're too busy trying to shield our own eyes from the horror. We didn't even have time to find the remote to fast forward or throw a blanket over the TV. This is almost a 2-hour movie. It's like an hour, 57 minutes. That's from Chris. I am mortified. I wish I could give this movie negative stars because it truly made me feel disgusted and had absolutely no plot. It was nothing like the description, and I will never not be upset about the fact that I wasted 2 hours of my life and $6 of my money on this. Why couldn't she have just stopped it? Turned it off?
Okay, yes, yeah. Oh, there's so much to unpack.
I feel like you're going to echo a lot of what I felt when I first read this, and I want you to do it. That's why it's here.
So I'm going to start towards the end of her review where she said nothing like the description. Here's the description on at least on IMDb. James and M. Foster are enjoying an all-inclusive beach vacation in the fictional island of Latoka when a fatal accident exposes the resort's perverse, number one, perverse subculture of hedonistic tourism, reckless violence, and surreal horrors. So, yes, the description doesn't say there are boobies and ass in this.
Or semen and rocks.
I would
Lord forbid.
Trying to give, who's the creator
Kimberly
of this review, Chris? Kim, if I may be so bold. Kim, yes, nothing in the description says, hey, there are boobies and ass in this. But also, we're talking about a perverse subculture, hedonistic tourism. So I feel like you should be prepared
for not silent in its regard and its review. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I am a parent. Stella and I watched Everything Everywhere All at Once with our daughter Jackie, including the scene where the villain murders several cops with nunchuck dildos. ACAB. And Jackie and I went to watch Infinity Pool with its hedonistic nature, and so I sympathize with this idea that I didn't know the nudity was going to be so in your face. I didn't know the hedonism and sex was going to be so in your face. But also, if we looked at the time, if we looked at how much time is spent on explicit sex or explicit nudity, in a 2-hour movie, we're probably looking at 6 minutes.
Which is weirdly so, Kim, real life, right? I mean, if you consider real life, like how much is actually explicit sex and how much is living that life. Just saying. Maybe I'm living my life wrong.
Right. So
I feel like, you know.
Let me do a little bit of math, because if there's anything horror fans find interesting, it's math. So 6 minutes out of 120 minutes is 0.1666666 repeating Hail Satan percent of the movie. Right. So, we're talking about less than 1%. Do you have sex, Kim, 3 times a year?
Uh-oh.
Because if you have sex 3 times a year, you're having sex about 0.16% of the
more
time.
More explicit than the movie?
4 times. I'll revise my estimate. If you have sex 4 times a year, once a season.
It's
time. Henry, it's time for our winter sex. It's time for our spring sex. It's time. If you have sex 4 times a year, Henry, then sex is
bend over
0.16% of your life. So guess what? Most people have sex more than that. Sex is really, at the end of the day, sex is a very normal thing.
I mean,
including our fetishes and our fantasies and our desires. It's a very normal thing. So I have to disagree with Kim that this is something outrageous.
I understand,
but also
they're like, we are trying to broadcast this on our balcony movie. Okay, fair enough. Then why didn't you just turn it the fuck off and go inside and finish it?
Absolutely. You have full control.
I couldn't. I was horrified,
right off the bat. I believe.
I was horrified.
I believe.
My eyes were still
if you're a time traveler, if you were a time traveler and you going back to the start of our review tonight, you will find that the first thing we discuss when we discuss this movie is not even full on nudity. It's M's ass.
You're right. You're right.
So if you have a problem with sexually
we don't want to fucking know you, Kim.
Images.
Get the fuck out of here.
You could have stopped this movie 10 minutes in. You could have stopped this movie 10 minutes in, and you could have watched
the kind of ass shot.
Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Ass shot is going to be explicit. because it's that kind of ass shot. It just is. You know the type.
Yeah.
It just is. Like that's the nature of the beast. Come on, Rabble. Like,
right.
Back me up, Dave. Like, you see an ass like that and that kind of a shot.
Oh no, I agree with you.
Like, I'm in for some shit. Like, this is the least of what I'm gonna see, and this is great.
Let me just, as long as we're talking about M and her ass, Cleopatra Coleman, she also stars in the 2003
2003
smaller horror movie Cobwebs as the school teacher. Which, if you combine the thought that she's a school teacher with that ass, it just elevates the fucking kink.
Is that what elevated horror is? I understand now.
Yeah, you're just elevating the kink. So yeah.
So Kim, there is Dave's thoughts on your thing. Much echoing my own.
If you don't like it, turn it off. It's a free fucking country.
I had to bring it up once. It was like we were watching it outdoors, and then I just couldn't stop it. It's like, then just stop it.
But you could. But you could. I was
too scared. Shut the fuck up. Shut your fucking mouth. Shut your fucking mouth right now. This is great. You are crazy. Jesus.
I want to do a couple quick hits, Chris. I know we're running long here. The masks. What did you think about the masks that they wore when they do the promotional
thing? Going into the release of this, and I thought they were going to be a bigger thing than they were, and I was like, "Oh shit!"
Sure, they were only in this small part, but I thought they were super cool.
This was one of the big selling points for me because I'm like, "Oh fuck, it's Cronenberg. It's son Cronenberg, like reaching towards that degree of Papa Cronenberg." I'm like, I'm there for it, and then, I mean, they really didn't serve a big part in this movie, and so. I mean, they're cool, but they weren't what I thought they were going to be, I guess I should say.
So real quick, and I really try to mean this real quick. Are you sure they didn't mean more than you think?
I'm not saying that.
You have the mask with all the holes in it. So for one, trypophobia. That whole mask with all the holes in the face doesn't do a whole lot for me. It's a little unsettling.
But I mean, is that what this is going to be? Is like they can put whatever they want into it, and it's like, see, there's the horror right there. Is this phobia that I put in?
Oh, but trypophobia is a real fear. So I want to point that out
of bras that are on the inside out, but that doesn't mean that it's belongs in a movie.
Granted. So you have one mask that the mouth is full of coins. So I feel like that is the symbolism of the wealth. Again, this is a symbolism of wealth and the corruption of wealth. You have a mask that has the Two-Face mask. And I can't remember who was wearing the Two-Face mask. So I won't go too far into that. But I absolutely know what mask James was wearing, and his mask looked like it. I kept going back and forth between the two, and I finally decided it represented both. It looked kind of like a pig,
okay,
but it also looked like a jester with the little, like the pigtailed things coming off the ears. And so I think it actually is a little bit of both. One, the jester, aka the fool. And he is manipulated by Gabby to act out whatever her desires are. And that's culminates in the scene where he abuses his own clone at her command. So he's kind of the puppet on the screen. He's the fool doing whatever is expected. Okay. But also he's the pig. He's the hog being fattened up for slaughter. He's used and abused and discarded. Like, they don't really care about him. They only care about him in as much as they are able to manipulate him. And so I think the mask was a reflection of that without going too far into it. I know we're running kind of long tonight.
As you need.
That's really all I want to go about the mask, unless you have anything to add. You're not the boss of me. It's my hot body. I'll do what I want. Oh man, Chris, I'm gonna take a shot.
I've got my fist raised up too, like halfway, not the full way. But.
Oh, I've been shooting the whole time, man. So I'm feeling really good right now. So the last thing, you brought it up in pre-show briefly, and I said, "Here's another example of us being on the same wavelength." If this movie, a Brandon Cronenberg movie, was made during the height of the David Cronenberg movies, the 80s.
Oh, right.
The Mia Goth role, who would that be played by? And probably, and I agree with you, it probably would be played by Linnea Quigley. You and I are on the record, stamped in blood, etched in stone. We are Linnea Quigley stands, whatever the kids say these days.
Right. Simp. I'm a Linnea Quigley simp.
Yeah, I'm a simp for Linnea Quigley, man. Could she pull this off? And I really feel like the answer is no.
It's such a different time. Like, could you think of anybody in that era that could do that? Like, even outside of horror?
No, at its best, Linnea Quigley, and I know that's the one you mentioned in pre-show.
Physically could do to the part.
Physically, yes,
no question.
Really, I think the best one to, like, Mia is such a good actress. I really feel that, and I feel like most of this is a product of the generation and the time. Like, you can't just be boobies on the screen now. You have to bring the acting cred with it. Boobies on the screen aren't enough. Your willingness to show boobies. But if there's anybody in the 80s time that could pull this off, I really kind of lean more Barbara Crampton. And I really don't know that she went full tits out on too much.
If I could combine,
she wore the
people, I would have went Gina Davis and Linnea Quigley, but maybe I'd throw a Barbara Crampton in as a 3-way to get my ultimate, like, 80s Mia Goth.
Oh my God, you're making me so hot right now.
Chill out. Let's finish. But I don't think there was. I don't know. It's so. We should. That's an interesting idea that I think we should experiment with. Is like looking at modern movies, looking at past movies, and seeing who from opposite eras could possibly wear the boots of whoever we're talking about. And this, I think we're both in agreement that I don't think there was really anybody that could fully do the acting and the physicality that she also needed for that.
There was a sexiness and a sensuality, but there was also an underlying craziness to Mia this entire movie.
Agreed.
But then you have the scene with the bus.
You little baby.
James! Yeah.
It's all off the hook.
She is, oh my gosh, she's so over the top. And I feel like it's very difficult for an actor or an actress to play impaired, to play the part of someone who's stoned, or to play this part of someone who's drunk. And I kind of think Mia really does a good job here with her drunk acting. Like, she's crazy. That's a given. She plays that part crazy. But even the craziness, even the drunkenness, I feel like she plays it really well. Like, oh, Alvin, I dropped my liquor bottle. I dropped my gun. She plays it so well. Right. I've been with Stella and Angie at the bar when they're, multiple drinks in, and I fully believe her in Mia's portrayal here. Like it's crazy, but it's also this babiness to it. I think she nails like a strong independent woman.
That's right.
First, strong independent woman first, but a strong independent woman who is chemically impaired. I think they play it well.
I agree.
I mean,
I mean them. I don't know.
I think she's a yes. Yeah, Mia. Yes, I think she's amazing. So me saying that Cleopatra Coleman is hotter than Mia is, that's not a dig at Mia at all. You know, we're still talking the top 1% of hotness in the world,
Dave.
And Mia's acting ability, like that craziness. I gotta admit, like there's something sexy to a crazy bitch, and again, maybe it's just the high end.
Where the warning comes from, man.
There's something really hot here. Like
you don't put your wiener on eyebrows.
You might,
whatever it is. I forget.
Yeah, no, I will jizz some eyebrows onto your face. I don't know what that means. I don't even know what that means.
Give me your overalls before we get banned.
Shit. All right. Am I? No, you go first because I went first last time. I have my predictions down. I have my rating down since the starting of the show. I am not altering it, and I have my prediction for you down. And I'm not altering it. And then after we do our predictions, I have one more comment that has nothing to do with it.
Fair enough. So going into this, so I watched it several months ago when we first talked about it, and I honestly have been writing my ratings down for movies when I first watched them just for Horror House. Yay! And guess what? Watching it the second time, my second viewing change was a negative 0.5.
Okay, negative 5 points. Like that's a fucking devastating.
Liked it less the second time I watched it, and that's giving it a full point, Dave, for Mia Goth movies. Like Jeff sure said.
And ass. Movie. I mean, I'm not trying to influence you unduly, but
yeah,
it's Mia Goth boobies and ass.
Yeah, she's very skinny. I enjoyed his previous movie much more, Possessor, and I was somewhat hyped for this one. I believe we even text back and forth a little bit when you first saw this in the theater, and I think you said weird, but Mia Goth boobies.
Yeah. Oh yes, definitely.
And I'm like, all right,
I'm sure.
All right. But I did like Possessor. Antiviral, I've watched like 10 minutes of, so no comment on that. We'll get to it. Maybe we'll watch next season.
I think it's a movie that I'm going to pick next season.
Okay. So. Okay. But like, there's some cool things in this, but for me, it doesn't reach the promised land for me. It doesn't take me there. And Skarsgård, Alexander Skarsgård is a problem for me. Like, I don't like his acting in this. He doesn't carry me.
He's no Bill.
No.
He's no Bill.
No Bob Scars.
We know how handsome you find Bob Skarsgård,
I form the opinion
Alex
of which brother is best Skarsgård brother. So go watch our Barbarian review if you've not watched that.
Before you give your rating, have you watched what's the werewolf movie or show on HBO?
Scott Hemsworth.
No, not
Hemlock Grove.
No, not Hemlock Grove.
Thor.
Something blood. True Blood.
True Skarsgård. I don't know.
True Blood. It's vampires and werewolves. It's on HBO.
I've never seen a second of footage.
We started watching the first episode. I'm not sure we even made it past the first episode. No hate to the show.
Is Skarsgård in it?
Yeah, Alex.
Oh, understandable. But Mia Goth is incredible and insane, and to me does the heavy lifting of the cast. And I
don't think there's any.
I don't think there's anybody in this cast that's on her level for this. Nitpicks. The story loses me very quick, and I mean, if the story isn't there for you, like in the first quarter of the movie, first third of the movie, you're really just left there waiting for the movie to be over, which is about where I was sitting. And when I, reading some of these reviews, these poor reviews, that's where a lot of them were sitting. It's like it had this stuff, and I'm like, okay, and then no, and that's what gave me this opinion of kind of like it's a little bit backloaded, if anything. You read a lot of these things where a movie is like real front loaded with plot and all these, threads that you kind of have to tie up yourself. And I mean, is it bad? Personal opinion, right? But it's certainly, I feel like the way this is, but it loses me quick. But that aside, I think there's some cool things in this, and I'm open to giving this more chances down the road, even though this is my second time and I'm lower than my first time. I didn't like Videodrome the first couple times I watched it. And I kept going back for some reason. And now I'm hard pressed to say that it's not my favorite David Cronenberg movie. So, I mean, I don't know, maybe Infinity Pool, is made of those same kind of DNA ingredients where I just need to get my palate in order to accept it, but this is not, I don't think it's Brandon Cronenberg's, I'll say most accessible. I'll say most Chris accessible movie.
Okay.
I just don't like this movie, and a lot of it has to do with Skarsgård. I don't like the way he did a lot of it. And like we had some morality and social division, social equality discussions that we didn't come to terms to. Like, I don't really agree with you. You don't agree with me. So, but we've had that before where we don't agree on things and still continue. But that makes me curious. Like, if we don't agree on things on this plot point, where will, maybe that determines that there needs to be more doing. And you're not gonna hate me, or you're gonna say you don't hate me for this rating, but it is very low. 3. I liked it less the second viewing, and I could not wait for it to be over. I don't like Skarsgård in this. The hallucination scenes lose me. He's just showing things, in my opinion. I'm not there for it. And 3 is as best as I can give it. And it bums me out to give it a 3. It really does. Which is 0.5 less than it used to be. But I don't know that Videodrome was much different the first time or two that I saw it. So I'm giving it the Videodrome benefit of the doubt. And that's still giving it a full point for Mia Goth movies. Dave, proceed and tell me how let down you are. And I understand. This is it. We've raised this horror house from where she wasn't a house. Now she's a house. And now you're like, okay. It ain't gonna be with Chris no more. You can fuck off.
So God dang, Chris, man. I guessed you before I give you my report, or my rating. I guessed you at a 6.5, but as we spoke today, I guessed you down to a 5.5. And so And you underperformed that. So here's where I stand. The horror house is still intact. For one, rabble, everybody, calm down. There is no imminent divorce. We're still together. Although we are way different. This may be our most different ratings on a movie ever. My high rating on this, there really is not a lot of horror elements to this movie. So let's start there. If I was going to knock it down as a rating, it would be that there's not a whole lot of horror elements. There are some, and we barely touched on this idea of the murder of the self. And I had a whole thing I was working on for that, and I'm going to save it for another time because I didn't quite get it formulated. But the murder of the self, and specifically in this movie, it's the murder of the self in subservience to the wealthy and the elites and the societal elites. So the murder of the self of the self in subservience to the wealthy elites. We really didn't get into that. But this movie makes me think a lot. And the themes that I read into this, and what's Davism number one, our interpretation of a movie or the themes we see in a movie are a better reflection of ourselves than they are of the movie itself or the movie creators. So the reflections, the themes I pick up in this movie are themes that resonate with me, like the fact that the wealthy serve no consequences and the poor actually, there are consequences for the behavior of the wealthy, but the actual consequences are paid for by the poor. So that is something that resonates in my soul and in my spiritual and political being. And the fact that it just really makes me think and really makes me explore those things, I love that. I've talked about that. Like, I love movies that make me think. And so I was almost the opposite. And in fact, I might be more extreme than you are, but I'm more extreme to the positive. I gave it an 8.
Okay. Fair enough.
So
I guess you 7.5.
What was your?
I guess you 7.5.
7.5. Okay, so you're not far off. You were a better guesser than I was.
I did not.
But an 8 and 3 gives an average score of 6.5, which is not.
Like I said, I'm the fucking anchor. I'm bringing this bitch down, and it's coming down with me.
No, I mean, if it needs to come down, it needs to come down. I do have one question outside of the horror house review of this movie, Chris. Right. Did you Google the IMDb page for Infinity Pool?
Yes.
Did you look at Alexander Skarsgård? And why is his IMDb profile page a picture of him in a tux with no pants on?
No, I did not see that.
So go to that real quickly. And can you answer that? Like, why is he wearing no pants with a tux as his profile picture for IMDb?
His dad was in that Nymphomaniac movie, and I can only assume that he is a byproduct of his father. It all makes sense to me.
I don't know. I was totally flipped out.
This has better. This picture has better acting than what he provided in this movie, in my opinion.
He's no Bob Skarsgård. That's for sure.
Ain't no.
I will give you that.
He ain't no Bob.
I will give you that. And there are 8 Skarsgård children, including Stellan, the patriarch of the Skarsgård clan, and I absolutely did not realize that was so big from the MCU.
If the rabble could
he's been in a lot of.
If the rabble could ever come to like a cause real quick, I would love that as a shirt. Whatever the fuck I just said, he's not no Bob, something like that. I'd buy my own shirt. Our own shirt.
He's no Bob Skarsgård.
He's no Bob Skarsgård. He ain't no Bob's. And you know what? You can use this picture of Alexander Skarsgård. Do a silhouette, do something pretty. I mean, it's not like he's ugly or nothing. Listen, let's be real. He may be portraying a poor, but he's not ugly.
Oh no, he's clearly not. How much dirt did they put on his face for the filming of this?
Yeah.
0, you say? Oh, clearly he's not forced.
Help me. That
because we know Hollywood portrays poors by putting dirt on their face, and that's all they know about poor people.
The dustier you can make a person, the poorer they are. Whew. Some things change, other things stay the same age, same dirty.
This was a long episode tonight, but it was very deep and very interactive. Chris, thank you.
We've had different opinions, and that's what it's all about. Like, I mean, I mean, you hate me a little bit more. I hate you a little bit more, probably. But that's really offensive. So why would you do that?
I can't wait.
Why would you do that? Wow.
I can't wait to go wake up Chris or Stella and be like, "Oh, your brother really pissed me off."
He's such an asshole. He's talking about Bob Skarsgård. It's not even a real person. But Dave, thank you, my friend, my brother, for joining me for 5 seasons of this. Hey, if the world ends and there's only 5 seasons of the Horror House, we fucking made it. I don't give a fuck. We fucking did it.
That is 5 more seasons than I ever predicted we would do.
Right? But it's been great. I've had a what would you call it? A creative bankruptcy for a season and a half or so. But season 5 has been, I think, my favorite season that we've done. Like, there was a little bit in the middle there where I was like having a real problem in my own brain, trying to come up with things. And listen, there's episodes that I don't enjoy that we've done because of me, and I'm like, I'll never listen to those again. I know what they are. But you carry on past those and you persevere. And I feel like season 5 was the ideal season of Horror House. And I can't wait to see what season 6 becomes.
Sure. There were seasons, and there were, I won't say whole seasons, but there were episodes where I really feel like, looking back, that I was more concerned about, like, how's this going to play? How's this going to play? Instead of just being my authentic self, which, if you ever utter those words that I just uttered, authentic self, and I'm including myself in that, if you ever have uttered that, you're a little bit of a douchebag. And so, yeah, I'll accept that I'm a little bit of a douchebag by uttering that.
You have to be, to think you're enough to warrant other people listening to your own bullshit. I mean, that's the podcast mantra. Like, can we call a spade a spade? Like, that's what it is.
Okay.
And
right here at the end of the show tonight, I wanted to take a shot. This shot is to you and to the podcast.
Cheers.
To the podcast past. And let me pour up another one to the podcast present.
I finished a beer. There we have it. Podcast present.
Oh. And another one to the podcast future.
Dave will die tonight. No, he won't. No, he won't. I'm a what's a
all right.
Oh
my God.
Not tonight. Ain't your night tonight. Speak your truth.
So there we go. 3 shots to end the night. Podcast
in
past.
The season, Dave.
Podcast present.
Your final words.
Podcast future. It is my birthday, and I don't want to push that too much. But if I had one birthday wish, it would really be, subscriptions, great. Likes, great. What I would like more that has very little effect on any kind of algorithm is, I would really, if I had one birthday wish, it would just be to hear from people more. Hey, I like this. Hey, I didn't like this. Hey, I want to hear you say this. What are your takes on this? That's what I really like. Because, I mean, we're not going to make ourselves rich on this podcast.
We'll make ourselves drunk for sure. And thank God for that.
I'm definitely doing that. I am sacrificing the health of my liver for this podcast. But I would really like to hear from the rabble and just, share your thoughts, share your comments. We, at the end of the day, really, and this is as honest, this is as drunk honest as it gets. We're just horror fans wanting to really just connect with other people. Fans and people in the horror creator community. Like, I just... I love this genre. I'm blessed to have a wonderful family and wonderful wife that is a fan right there with me.
And we both reveal.
And I really can't ask for anything more than I got. But if it is, it's
on the show constantly. So all you got to do is listen, and it's as real as it gets.
Yeah, and I don't know if I can walk to the bathroom right now, but I really got to piss.
Dave is going to lose his glasses. Go listen to They Live if you want the last part of this. Dave,
I'll just render this tomorrow. You already rendered it. What? Okay.
But this is season 5 finale. We will catch you guys in season 6. We'll make the renovations. We'll welcome you in, and it's going to be rad. But until then, Dave, same cemetery, different grave, same horror house. And we'll meet you guys then.
Let's not forget, I don't know if we've thrown the socials in for a minute, so let's throw them in real quick, Chris, before we move on.
For the last time.
Hit us up on the DMs or tag us in a tweet at Sweetness16Es or at Horrorhouse2.
You can email us horrorhousepodcast@gmail.com or go to the Horror House page on Facebook.
Look for us on Slasher, which is the social media network for horror fans. I'm Horror House Dave. Chris is Horror House Chris. It's
very easy.
Really, like, if you can't remember that, like,
you've made it 3 hours into this podcast
you might
and
be
figured
special.
that out. You have some. Never mind. Continue. Oh, it's my turn.
You got problems, but
we're on YouTube. Get us on the YouTube, man. Like us, subscribe to us, click that notification bell, everything, and share us with any of your friends that you think is into horror. Two buddies talking about horror, disagreeing on horror. Get them in here. They will have a great time. We'll make sure of it. And if they don't, you'll never hear from them again. How about that? We'll hide them. We'll hide their bodies real good.
We will dig their grave for their bodies so deep
for you, so secret. But this is it, man. This is the end of season 5. Been a great 5 seasons. It's going to be an even greater season 6. We don't know when it's going to start. We're going to play around and renovate some things in the horror house, and then we'll be back. Not too long, but long enough to fix those things, and then we'll be back.
Less than 30 days from today. Less than 30 days from today. Stella and I will be at the Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Studios. So 31 days from today, we will be back from Horror Nights. We will be back on Halloween to take little dude trick or treat and drink some bourbon with my mom's boyfriend. And
Not
you know,
tequila?
it's going to be a good time. And so I can't wait to hit Skelly Tequila. He's got some Russells over there as well, bourbon. So I don't know how you feel about Russells or if you know Russells.
Know what you're talking about?
It's a bourbon. It's a mid shelf bourbon. There I whacked.
Dave fell over.
I didn't fall over, but I did whack the fuck out of the mic again.
It's like you beat off a fucking intruder. or you beat off a Skarsgård at a beach. Up for interpretation. You little baby.
That's my acting job. Imitation of Alex. Alex Scars being beat off on the beach. What
you
are
never
you doing?
Been beat off, you little baby.
You're touching my pee-pee.
Okay. Everybody's left by now. It's just us. So let's get out of here. Closing the doors.
Yes. My lips, my face, and my hands are numb right now.
That's how I viewed Alexander Skarsgård for most of this movie. Like his face was numb. Like emoting was not his bag. You know. Help me! Help me! Help
me!
Like, do you think they have a gown that's just for fit guys? It's like, oh, he's got some abs. Give him the gown. The gown.
Maybe.
And like, you think there's another one for like chubby rich guys where it's like, well, he's a little bit round around the waist. Give him that one.
Chris, I don't know if I ever told you. When I had the surgery to remove a testicle, they called Stella and my family back to the recovery room, and I wasn't in there when they got there. And I showed up like 5 minutes later by myself. Like, I was not being escorted by a doctor. I was not in a medical bed. I wasn't with a nurse. Apparently, they had put me to the room and failed to monitor me. So I took my IV off of the pump and off of the pole, and I was carrying it around as I just wandered around in the surgical recovery room, asked out to the world. Yes.
Oh my God.
I don't even know it. The only reason I know the story is because other people have told me the story.
Wow.
Because I was still fucking high on the anesthesia. I was just cruising around, like, carrying my IV like a lantern in the darkness. So,
as long as you were singing Brightest Day, Blackest Night, whatever.
The body in the blood. The body in the blood. The body in the blood.
Oh God.
I'm a pussy for anesthesia, man. I really am.
Wow.
After my colonoscopy last month, I told Stella, like, the next day, I was like, I wonder when they're going to call me with the results. And Stella was like, are you sure about that? Because they told us the results in the recovery room. And I was like, I have no recollection of that. I remember going into the surgical room and they're like, roll over on your side and count to 10. And at the time I hit 3, the next thing I remember, I was in the car headed home.
I really love that me and my sister have had these parallel instances where it's like your partner has had this procedure done and it's your duty to remember what we tell you right now. And she actually does. I'm the polar opposite. I'm the rebel. Where my wife wakes up from a procedure and she's like, "What did they say?" I'm like, "Well, I don't know. What'd you remember?"
Right. Like you're the one under anesthesia, but I still expect you to remember.
How come it's all on me?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. No, I am super blessed. Yeah, I am super blessed.
This has got so personal.
I'm a pussy for fucking anesthesia,
dude,
man.
This has got so personal.
Mucinex. Have you ever taken?
Yeah, oh yeah.
You've taken Mucinex? Yeah. Let me tell you what I am like when I take Mucinex. If I take Mucinex, I have to hold on to the grass to keep from falling off the earth. I am more drunk on Mucinex than I was during day lift. And tonight might be the next level, or the one step below.
I will tell you what.
I rode a little bit better. I paced myself out a little bit better. Right. I might have drank just as much, but I paced myself out a little bit better.
I just pushed my microphone away from me in drunken laughedness. I'm like, this is too loud for the microphone, fuck. Which is, I don't know that I've ever done that. So we are on a plane of existence. Let's get the fuck out of here.
All right. Yeah. All right. You guys are tired of hearing about my colonoscopy. If you want to hear more, check out the colonoscopy podcast. Wherever podcasts are sold.
But we will be back. We will be back in a couple weeks with Horror House Season 6. And we are going to church up the place, see what we can do. Get your requests in. And we'll be back, man. We'll be back. And can't wait for it. It's going to be great. It's going to be super, super duper great.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for everything. Honestly, we don't do it for you. We do it for ourselves. but we still appreciate you guys like listening and enjoying it too. If you're like us, two fat drunk guys.
Hey, I'm skinny, man. I'm so skinny.
Yeah, okay.
Like in a chubby way or whatever.
You identify as skinny, so that's okay. That's the next best thing.
We're gonna have to start. We're gonna be doing video soon, so it's on both of us to figure out where we land when that happens.
Yes.
Great.
Our viewership will plummet when they see our actual faces.
Not like the panties. What's up? No eyebrows. Can you do a callback before the episode's over?
I feel like it. This
is the longest.
For those who are waiting, I have full eyebrows. Chris, I can attest. I will. Under perjury of law or law of perjury, I don't know. I
ain't shaved my eyebrows.
I will testify that Chris has full eyebrows. Yes. I have full eyebrows. We both have eyebrows.
Yes, this is all true. I ain't shaving them either.
But that is in and of itself, that is not a measure of attractiveness. But I can say that it is a measure of attractiveness, and we both have eyebrows.
I thought you was trying to hoodwink me into like if we don't get 10 extra follows by whenever this happens, we're shaving our eyebrows. And I'm like, I will quit this show.
Yeah, Chris, you should totally shave your eyebrows, man.
After I poured my heart out, and I'm like, I had a creative bankruptcy, but I'm all good, and this is great. Dave's like, we're going to do this, or we'll shave our eyebrows. I'm like, I'm out. Good run. I'm
out, man. I prayed when I went through chemo, like, Lord, if you take every bit of my body hair, every bit. If you do that, please just leave me my eyebrows. That's all I ask. And God is good, man. God is good.
There you go.
I think that is a statement that like the family in Kentucky and your mom and my mom and my dad could all get behind. Like, God is good. I kept my eyebrows.
There you have it.
So if I had lost my eyebrows 7 years ago, I would still not be getting any. I'm just saying, like, that's weird. Like, nah.
Like if is
eyebrows are
eyebrows are not overrated. I feel like they're precisely rated. Gabby,
they're exactly rated where it should be.
Gabby was maybe not wrong. Like I don't know why this actress, but no eyebrows. It's like, you know what? You're a little bit of a bitch, but are you wrong?
But you're not wrong. No, I never noticed the eyebrow thing.
I can't believe you didn't notice that
until you said it tonight. And then I looked and I was like, she's right.
All right.
Like, how do we adore Mia no eyebrows?
It's phew.
In broken English.
It becomes a Christmas song. You gotta do a whole different thing to accept it, and I ain't there for it yet. Not yet. I'm not. But we are out. Till a few weeks. Season 6. We will be back. Same cemetery, different grave. Like I said, but same horror house.
Stay tuned.
I've said it twice, Dave, and you haven't caught on. I thought that was like super powerful.
Oh, I'm
same
sorry.
Cemetery, different grave, but the same horror house. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Are you right? Or is it not what I thought it was?
I have no clue what you're talking about.